Welcome and thank you for joining us on Blue Team Buddies. Every Monday, we will be releasing cybersecurity news to our channel. Today's topics include account takeover, living off trusted sites or lots, and more. I will start us off today with our first story. On December 22nd, Kyocera acknowledged a vulnerability affecting its device manager web application, which IT administrators use to manage one or more Kyocera Office devices. This vulnerability allows an attacker to redirect device manager authentication attempts toward their own malicious server. As of now, this vulnerability has not been exploited in the wild, published by MITRE, or scored by the National Vulnerability. The issue underlying this vulnerability is related to a minor function of the Kyocera device manager, which allows admins to configure the backup location of a database used by the app. An attacker can manipulate it into accepting a UNC path instead of a local path. This could potentially allow an attacker who has set up their own server to intercept the app's attempt at authentication, gaining access to the credentials associated with the higher service level process handling of all the device manager functionality. They could then pivot and move laterally through a network. According to TrustWave, the severity of what can be achieved here really depends on the configuration, how the admin set things up, if the service is managed from Active Directory along with a lot of other service accounts. It may enable access to credentials for AD, and they can continue to expand from there. The good news is Kyocera has issued a patch to address this vulnerability. On to you, Grim.
All right, so we have a popular web browser called Opera that has been found to have had a security flaw that could potentially allow hackers to execute any file on the operating system. This vulnerability has been codenamed MyFlaw by the Guardia Labs research team, and it exploits a feature called MyFlow in Opera. MyFlow is a feature that allows users to sync messages and files between mobile and desktop devices. The vulnerability that lies in a section of the app which allows admins to configure backup locations of a database used by the app.
Hmm.
An attacker can manipulate this function to accept a UNC path instead of a local path, thereby redirecting the app's authentication attempts to their own malicious server. The potential impact of this vulnerability is significant. If an attacker exploits this vulnerability, they could gain access to the credentials associated with higher service level processes that handle all the device manager functionality. This would potentially allow the attacker to move laterally through a network. Opera has acknowledged this vulnerability and issued a patch to address it. The company has also stated that they are taking steps to prevent such issues from happening again. While the potential of this vulnerability is significant, it is mitigated by the fact that an attacker would already need to have access to a company's network before attempting any sort of interception. However, this incident serves as a reminder of the importance of regular patching, network segmentation within the security of an IT network. Over to you, Hef.
Thanks, Grim. Threat actors are leveraging GitHub services for malicious infrastructure, allowing them to blend in with legitimate network traffic, often bypassing traditional network defenses. This makes upstream infrastructure tracking and actor attribution more difficult. The cybersecurity firm Recorded Future refers to this approach as living off trusted sites, or LOTs, a spinoff of the living off the land, or LOL, techniques often adopted by threat actors to conceal rogue activity and fly under the radar. GitHub is abused in various ways, including payload delivery and command and control obfuscation. For instance, some actors leverage GitHub's features for C2 obfuscation. Rarely observed is the abuse of GitHub for data exfiltration, likely due to the file size and storage limitations and concerns around discoverability. There is no universal solution for GitHub abuse detection. A mix of detection strategy is needed, influenced by specific environments and factors, such as the availability of logs, organizational structure, service usage patterns, risk tolerance, among others. In conclusion, the exploitation of legitimate internet services such as GitHub, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, Notion, Firebase, Trello, and Discord by threat actors is a growing threat. This extends to other source code and version control platforms like GitLab, Bitbucket, and Codeberg. This development underscores the importance of robust security measures, and the need for constant vigilance in the face of evolving cyber threats. Back to you, Grim.
And our final story of the day, we have Chinese hackers exploiting zero-day flaws in Avanti Connect Secure and Policy Secure. Avanti is a provider of enterprise IT software solutions, and they've recently been targeted by suspected Chinese-linked nation-state actor fraud. The two vulnerabilities are CVE 2023, and edit that part out again. Let's try that again.
Okay. Cut.
The two vulnerabilities allow an attacker to exploit Connect Secure and Policy Secure by accessing restricted resources of the control checks. The latter allows the attacker to exploit a command injection vulnerability in those same components. These vulnerabilities can be chained together to take over susceptible instances of the internet. If this is used in conjunction with other CVE, exploitation does require authentication and enables the threat actor to craft malicious requests and execute arbitrary commands on the system. The attacker can steal configuration data, modify existing files, download remote files, as well as reverse tunnel from the VPN itself. They can also modify a legitimate CGI file on the VPN appliance to allow command execution. Avanti has acknowledged these vulnerabilities and expected to release patches in a staggered manner starting from the week of January 22nd, 2024. This instance, edit, this incident underscores the importance of robust security measures and the need for constant vigilance in the face of evolving cyber threats. It also highlights the increasing sophistication of threat actors and their ability to exploit vulnerabilities in a widely used software solution. Over to you, Beth.
Thanks, Grim. Yeah, that was our last story for today. And I want to thank you for joining us for our first ever episode for Blue Team Buddies. And I think we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot, and I really hope you like this. If you want to see more, give us a subscribe and a like, and tell your friends about us. We're also going to be coming out with this is just part of one topic that we're covering every Monday. And then later on in the week, we'll be doing other topics such as tutorials, reviewing software, showing how to use different software as part of the tutorials, of course. And if you have any suggestions, you let us know. We both have a lot of years in both red team, blue team, and purple teaming, and we're just here to spread the word. Well, thank you for joining. Cheers.
Take care.